The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us here at 5 a.m. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. I got my first taste of Fair Eats last night. I wanted to sample as much as I possibly could just so that I could then inform you and you all about what to get.
Naturally.
So I did.
Now, we should send a warning out to everyone out there this morning because Maddie went to the Walker Hayes concert last night, so her voice may be a little rough.
It's a little shot.
Little shot after last night. How was it, though? First night of the fair.
It was great. It was really fun. You know, the weather, and there was a little breeze. It was a little warm, but, you know, you stay in the shade and then the sun goes down. It was nice, and a lot of great food out there to be had, that's for sure. Your time now is 5:03 this morning, and the FDA gives the green light to COVID vaccine booster shots for some. But it only applies to people who got the vaccine made by Pfizer. NBC's Chris Pallone is in Washington to explain exactly who will be eligible for a third shot.
Alex, good morning. We know that seniors over 65 will be eligible for the extra dose. And later today, a CDC panel will decide who else can get it. The FDA's decision clears the way for millions of Americans to get COVID-19 vaccine booster shots. It covers people 65 and older and those at high risk for severe disease. But the ruling only applies to the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. No decision yet for people who were immunized with the Moderna or Johnson & Johnson shots, a decision likely to cause confusion.
This is not the situation where we want to be, where people are eligible or not eligible based on which vaccine they got. I think it'd be really helpful for the FDA and the CDC to come out with broader guidance across a range of vaccines.
Keith Albert, one of those anxious to get a booster, but since he got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine earlier this year, he will have to wait a while longer.
I'm a little bit frustrated. I would get the J&J, they would come out with it, but it doesn't look too promising just yet.
Today, a Centers for Disease Control panel will decide exactly which people under 65 are considered to be high risk.
Depending on how they define that, we could be talking about a broad swath of the country getting access to boosters.
If the CDC director signs off on those guidelines today, people who got their second Pfizer dose more than 6 months ago could be getting a booster shot by the end of the week. So at this point, people who got the Moderna or Johnson & Johnson vaccines will just have to wait. Meanwhile, the FDA is considering approving the Pfizer vaccine for children ages 5 and up. A decision on that could come by the end of October. In Washington, Chris Pallone, 17 News.
And here at home, Kern Public Health announced 4 more deaths and nearly 400 new cases yesterday. To date, 1,525 lives have been lost to COVID-19 here in Kern County since the beginning of the pandemic. ICUs continue to fill up, with 78 people fighting for their lives this morning. In total, 301 people are in the hospital being treated for the virus.
And as our local hospitals continue to fill up with COVID patients, Dignity Health provided an update yesterday on its efforts to treat those in need of extra care and their continuing struggles to keep up with staffing demands as patient numbers go up.
We're still having trouble with staffing ICUs in particular, and our nursing units in general, including the ER. So we are still reliant on the help that we've received from the state and from the county and the National Guard, which we are so very grateful for their presence here.
Last week, Public Health announced the county has called in those additional resources to help treat patients. In addition to using the county's COVID funding to add additional nurses to ICUs, more than a dozen National Guard members arrived to provide assistance in our local hospitals. They are expected to remain in Kern for the next month or so.
In your 17 Court Watch this morning, one of the defendants in the so-called Bakersfield 3 case has taken a plea deal. Matthew Vandecasteele, the man whose garage is believed to have been used in the alleged torture slaying of Micah Holsonbake, pleaded no contest yesterday to 3 felony charges. The plea deal means he'll be sentenced to 4 years in prison and must testify against co-defendant Matthew Queen, who is charged with Holsonbake's murder. Holsonbake is believed to have been killed in March 2018. An arm belonging to him was found in the Kern River months later, and his skull was found last month. Holsonbake's parents spoke with us after yesterday's hearing about the pain of not having recovered all of their son.
We want to bring Micah home.
We want him.
But bringing him home one piece at a time
That's
is
horrible.
just unbearable. And it could last for years. And because every time there's something else found, it's a good thing, but it's also a very difficult thing.
Prosecutors say Queen and his then-girlfriend, Bailey Despot, tortured and killed Holsonbake because they believe he stole a gun. Queen faces murder and dozens of other charges and is scheduled for trial next month. But a judge yesterday said the case could be pushed back years. Despot is also charged in Holsonbake's death, but went missing shortly after Holsonbake.
17 Crime Watch now. Kern County Animal Services and the Sheriff's Office are looking into reports of animal torture. Images of the act shared among individuals on social media. KCIS says they're aware of 3 people allegedly involved in what appears to be the torture and killing of a kitten. And then they posted images of the act to social media for all to see. Officials say at this time the incident is in the investigation phase and no charges have been filed, but they're not discounting felony animal cruelty charges.
New evacuation warnings have been issued for the K&P complex fire. The Tulare County Sheriff's Office says evacuation warnings are in place for the communities of Eshom and Heartland Camp. All other warnings and orders related to the fire remain in effect. Fire officials say there has been nearly 1,400 acres of growth on the fire in the last 36 hours. The K&P complex fire has burned more than 28,000 acres and there is no containment. More than 1,400 personnel are battling the blaze in Sequoia National Park, which was ignited by lightning the night of September 9th. Meantime, the Vande fire has now burned more than 31,000 acres. It is 7% contained this morning. The fire is burning on the Tulare River Indian Reservation and in the Sequoia National Forest. Evacuation orders are still in place. And with all the smoke in the air from these 2 fires, the air quality alert has been extended through Monday.
5:10's your time now. A cleanup event will take place this Saturday in downtown Bakersfield. CityServe has announced its fall overhaul in collaboration with Keep Bakersfield Beautiful from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Volunteers will be out that morning picking up trash, planting trees and flowers, and painting benches. Check-in starts at 7:30 a.m. at the Fox Theater. For a link to sign up to volunteer, visit kget.com.
Recapping our top stories on this Thursday morning, the FDA is now authorizing anyone 65 and older or those with compromised immune systems to receive booster shots for coronavirus. But the ruling only applies to the Pfizer vaccine. No decision yet for people who were immunized with the Moderna or Johnson & Johnson shots. Matthew Vandecasteele, the man whose garage is believed to have been used in the alleged torture slaying of Micah Holsonbake, pleaded no contest yesterday to 3 felony charges. The plea deal means he'll be sentenced to 4 years in prison and must testify against co-defendant Matthew Queen, who was charged with Holsonbake's murder. New evacuation warnings have been issued for the K&P complex fire. The Tulare County Sheriff's Office says evacuation warnings are in place for the communities of Eshom and Heartland Camp. All other warnings and orders related to the fire remain in effect. Meantime, fair organizers are hosting a variety of special events for certain groups here in Kern County. Today, even though general admission begins at 3 o'clock, they're opening things up just a little early for people with special needs and their caregivers. The bonus operating hours run from 9 a.m. till noon. It's a great chance for those with special needs to get to enjoy the fair without all the huge crowds and have a fun time while helping to better ensure safety and mitigate health concerns.
Of course, one of the big concerns at this year's fair is the COVID-19 pandemic and keeping fairgoers safe. Masks and vaccines are not required, but fair organizers do strongly encourage mask use and social distancing. They've also provided a quick and easy way to get vaccinated, partnering with the Kern County Public Health Department to offer a free vaccination clinic on site. No appointments are required. If you get the shot at the fair, you'll also receive free admission.
Now to an exciting update on a local teacher whose back-to-school song caught the attention of a well-known country music star.
Yeah, school's back in session. Teach me a lesson. I know you have some answers to most of my questions. I went school shopping. I'm gonna hop in. The yellow school bus picking up. That's right, they're stopping.
That was Josh King on the right, a 3rd grade teacher at Independence Elementary School in Bakersfield, with his version of Walker Hayes' song Fancy Like. You can see here Hayes on the left and his daughters bopping along to it after it went viral. Well, last night Walker Hayes performed at the Kern County Fair, and before he took the stage, he spent some time with King.
We back to school like Lunchables in my backpack. Color pencils, new folders that I gotta unpack. A new fit and a fresh fade. Nike's new fit is an upgrade. Bougie like Gatorade.
I love it. Josh sang his back to school song again last night, but this time Walker Hayes was singing along with him. And of course, as you can see, it was a special backstage treat before Hayes performed at the Budweiser Pavilion at the fair. Pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it was a really fun night. And be sure to watch 17 News at sunrise tomorrow morning. We'll be live from the fairgrounds from 5 to 7 a.m. showcasing all of the entertainment attractions and, of course, our favorite part, the food.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what we have so far. So we definitely are going to try those crepes tomorrow morning.
Which I'm excited because they're new.
They're new.
So that's exciting.
And then we're never disappointed by the gelato.
They always just like have these crazy, colorful creations.
It's a lot.
Sugar full.
Definitely
now,
not sugar free.
I've got to tell you this. The maple bacon cinnamon roll from Old West Cinnamon Rolls did not disappoint last night.
Actually, I'm glad you said that because a lot of people have been asking, is the cinnamon roll place there this year?
And they are.
They are.
They are. And the maple bacon cinnamon roll is new this year in case you want to try it.
Really disappointed you didn't bring me back one.
I know, I'm sorry. It was actually my mom's and I ate it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Welcome back here at 548. A small group of people in Utah held a candlelight vigil for Gabby Potito last night. They wanted to celebrate the life of Potito, who gained national attention when she went missing while on a cross-country road trip with her fiancé, Brian Laundrie. Authorities confirmed they found the 22-year-old's body in the woods of Wyoming, and they are considering it a homicide. But right now, there are still more questions than answers. NBC's Katie Beck has the story.
The search at the swamp continues. A massive manhunt for Brian Laundrie, now a person of interest in the homicide investigation of his fiancée, Gabby Potito.
We are trying to cover every acre in this preserve.
All 25,000 of them. The vast area now a grid search by all-terrain vehicles, canines, and dive teams. So far, no sign of Laundrie, who headed there more than a week ago with a backpack, according to his parents.
You can't keep chocolate in Utah.
Potito and Laundrie had been documenting their cross-country trip since early August. Laundrie returned to Florida without Potito September 1st, her family reporting her missing 10 days later.
What's going on? How come you're crying?
Newly released police reports shedding more light on the couple's dispute while on the road.
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
A witness statement from a second person who saw the altercation, telling police something seemed off. Officers stopped and questioned the couple, but no charges were filed. Karen Aberts lives across the street from the Laundrie's Florida home and recalls watching the couple as they outfitted their van for the trip.
It seemed like, your normal young couple just kind of hanging out.
Aber says Laundrie would routinely go on walks with his parents, sometimes with Gabby too, who previously lived with them.
Are you surprised that they didn't contact authorities sooner about Brian being missing?
I can't imagine my kid saying that I'm going for a hike and then 2 days later he's still not home. So to me, I would have been on the phone within hours after him not coming home.
Tonight, with Laundrie still missing, Potito's family no closer to the answers they so desperately seek.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.